State in Kennesaw State. And this is a quote from Jeff Humphreys at the Seelig Center for Economic Growth at the University of Georgia. It says, right now we are not in recession, but I put the odds of recession beginning sometime between now and December of 2020 at about 50%. My baseline forecast is for a continuation of the late-stage economic expansion through 2020, albeit with a dramatic slowdown in growth. The 2020 economy will come very close to stalling out.
Okay, so that article would support which side?
It's down the middle.
Well, down the middle. I mean, we're talking the end of 2020, okay? There's a lot of time between then. Here's another article. This came out same day, totally on the other side. So, here's another reason we can put up here. Only 4% of mortgages in the U.S. were 30 days or more past due as of June 2019.
Okay, let's compare that. What's normal?
The number represents a national mortgage delinquency rate that is currently at a 20-year low, a continuation of a 7-month downward trend in foreclosure rates, which we're already under. We're at 1%, right? In fact, whether or not a recession happens, McLaughlin, that's who they're interviewing, is confident that this time it will be different. The housing market tends to do fairly well during recessions. The Great Recession was an anomaly. It was all about real estate market crashing. I think we tend to forget that most recessions are not nearly as catastrophic. However, the mostly good news from the report is in contrast to figures from the Federal Reserve's latest G19 Consumer Credit Report, showing that in July 2019 there was a $23 billion increase in consumer debt from the previous month. The aggregate amount of value relative to debt is at near an all-time high. Okay? Homeowners are sitting on a lot of equity. The last recession was so bad because homeowners had very little equity. The nation's overall delinquency rate has fallen on a year-over-year basis for the past 17 consecutive months. While a heightened and prolonged trade war with China remains a threat to the U.S. economy, its impact on the housing market will be minimal, and cities such as Atlanta will likely not be impacted. Okay? So, I think that's a strong one over here, right?
Yeah.
Again, I've never seen a correction with low supply.
Another one of our Rawls group members had posted something the other day showing the last 5 recessions, 3 of them, home prices were in the positive, continue to remain positive. You know, the last one obviously was not.
Right.
But that's good news. That doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to go down.
Exactly right. So, again, they said it right here. 2008, that was all caused by a housing problem, right? Most recessions are not. It's more an economic problem. And as Kevin said, as this person said, generally a recession, meaning economy bad, generally stock market goes down, people tend to put their money in real estate. So, again, we're just trying to weigh, okay? We don't have a crystal ball, but I would think you're put in a position to have this conversation a lot. Actually, I would think that it would not be a bad move to put yourself in a position to have this conversation a lot. I mean, if you started out your listing presentation with a talk on the economy and you were quoting this without reading it, I'm already, you're my person. No one's coming here and told me this, right? So all we're trying to do is just put them on each side, but I think the credit situation is a big thing over here. We don't have a credit problem. We don't have people that are about to lose their properties. The economy's good, jobs are good. So a lot of that 2008, 2010 was people, right, that like they were way behind in their payment. We have almost none of that.
So different totally different scenario.
And realize that if things start to change a little bit, where it gets a little tougher, this time they have equity to actually get out of their property, right? I think that's a big piece of it.
Could it, since we know that there is not a shortage of inventory, 500 and above, there is at the lower price points, could we see prices falling at the higher price points?
We could, and we probably
I mean,
already
sort of
have in a
split
lot of
market.
areas, right?
It's a buyer's market in that place.
Yeah.
Well, it's that way.
We've talked about that forever. Again, every single property is its own analysis, depending on school, price, condition, location in Atlanta, right? Okay, just more thought, but another piece on the no side. Texas Hold'em.
Who's playing? Matt?
We got more than that. We almost got 45 people. So this Thursday, doors open at 5 in here. Professional dealers, professional tables, drink and
Professional alcohol.
beverage starting at 5. Play starts sharply at 6. We got awards, nice awards as usual, glass award, very competitive. Is there anyone that wants to play in this that's not playing? Okay, I'll talk to you after.
Just consider it.
You know, no,
Can you come and watch and see?
yeah, there's as many people watching. Yeah. It's a fun night, so definitely come watch too. Doors open at 5. Play starts at 6. All right. Top producers. So last week we did top producers year to date. This is top producers for the month of August only. Turn out some lights here. So turn those off if you would back there, Paul. There we go. Still hard to read. So top teams, 1, Deb and Michael Martino. 2, RJ and Jim McCarty. 3, Eddie Levin and Sam Klein. 4, Tara and Gary Gaines. 5, Kathy and Bill Haas. Congratulations. Top commercial agents. How old's Dave Thomas?
39 and
What? 84.
84.
Come on, don't tell me you got an acre pain in your foot. Dave Thomas, 84, number 1 in the office for the month of August. 2, Scott Morchauer. 3, Eric Sapoznik. 4, Rocky Kaufman. 5, Lexi Turner. Take it. All right,
Scott, you're just old news.
top individuals. 1, Dan Bangs. 2, Mike Culver. 3, Liz Wellman. 4, Diamond Blackman. 5, Amanda Martin. 6, Kevin Probst. 7, Toshma Graves. 8, Brandon Atkins. 9, John Cassane. 10, Susan Eschbach. 11, Becky Veal. 12, Adriana Ozero. 13, Jana Huffam. 14, Maya Sly. And 15, Matali Patel. Congratulations. Groups. You got any groups up there?
I do.
That's not them.
I do.
There they are. Top groups. Just had their first baby. Becky and Dave Evans, group 2. Ming Jo, group 3. Nicole Ambrose, group 4. Providence, group 5. Alexander, group. Congratulations. All right. You're all aware of command. It's in our life now. So, Pete, you got a little educational moment for us?
Education. So this will be quick, but it's kind of important. Quick and painless, but it's kind of important. In command, over here on the left-hand side, beside your face, is the down arrow, and that's where all the settings are. So there are a lot of things happening in settings, but what's kind of important is that you need to set up who you are, because it would probably be beneficial to the people that receive your marketing material if you kind of had your name in there.
Yeah.
Maybe your picture, maybe your phone number, right? Otherwise, put my name and my phone number in there, right? You go to settings, and in settings, over on the left-hand side, where it says, connect settings, it says marketing profile. You left click on marketing profile, and all of this is the stuff that you put in there. And it's kind of self-explanatory. The only thing that I would caution you is if you can see the screen up here, it says 360 by 360 pixels. Now what that means is a small picture. So if you've got a picture of yourself that's on an iPhone, it's like 4 megapixels. The only thing they're going to see is your nostrils. So you want to kind of smush that down. There's plenty of places out on the web where you can get your picture smushed down, or ask a teenager. Your team logo obviously can be anything. If you notice, mine is too big because I haven't smushed it down to
Ask a
360.
teenager, Pete.
Yeah.
So that-
Ask a teenager.
I said, ask a teenager.
I don't know anything.
I don't know anymore.
Mine are way past that. But so you put your details in there any way you want to, and this information that you put in here, including all your bio, why you're the greatest person ever born, is what shows up when you send out your marketing, whether it's an email that you send out, whether it's, you've heard that they're going to have a personal web page. This information applies right over to your web page. So you pretty much, you put this in one time, and you can use it for a whole bunch of things, okay? Now, as we scroll down, when you get down to Market Center, Atlanta Perimeter North is actually our office. It's not East Cobb, and you can't change that, so it'll show up there. But you can put anything else that you want in here. Your brokerage license number that's the office number here, okay? Legal footer, that's probably where you put in that each office is independently owned and operated and that kind of stuff, okay? Now, social, what happens when you put your social? So put your Facebook page, business page. I guess you can put your personal page if you don't have a business page, but you put that in here. If you've got Twitter or Instagram, YouTube or LinkedIn, when you put this information in, it's going to create a little logo on all of the information that you send out. So it's not going to have some big long, thing that gives you your whole LinkedIn profile. It'll just have a little icon and it'll link to it, no pun intended. If you're doing Facebook pixeling, this is where you would put your pixel ID. And what it allows you to do is when you send out an email or something on your website, you can track it back to Facebook. So if you're doing Facebook ads, you can use the pixel.
Where do you get the Pixel ID?
Ask a teenager.
Yeah, that's probably a conversation for another day. If you're not doing Facebook ads right now, then that's a different conversation. Same thing happens with Google Analytics. If you're doing Google Analytics, you put your code in here. And your branded KW app, remember the app, the consumer app that we're going, that'll be the best thing ever when it comes out? This will be the little icon that they can click on it and it'll say download the app. When they download the app to their phone, then any places that they go, any sites they visit, come back to you and you can monitor that. Okay? All right.
Is that the code right now?
Well, that's my code. If you don't have a code, use this one.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know why Pete's doing all this business all of a sudden.
All right, so that's when we hit save down here, and we keep going down, and I think I covered just about everything. Again, all of this information that you put in will go to all of the marketing efforts that you use Command for. We kind of had the same thing in MyKW. You could actually go to your MyKW profile and just cut and paste and copy it over. Okay? But you need to fill out this information because as you start using Command and you start using your the automatic marketing smart plans that they have in there, this shows up. It shows. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can do it quick enough. I can't do it on this computer, but anyway. So what will happen is all of the emails that you send out, whether it's the bi-weekly or the monthly, all of it have all of your profile information on there. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Questions? Jake?
Any more update on the actual KW website? update? I know that
October,
we saw, okay, yeah, we saw him
October.
do something with yours or it's the lead.
October.
You know, somewhere in October.
I will, print my profile, because mine's complete, so that you see how I filled out each line, because I know Pete went through fast, and email it
Okay.
out, so if you want to use mine as a guide, you can do that.
Okay. Thank you, Pete. All right, good breakfast this morning from US Healthcare. Troy, come talk to us for a second. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
A lot more people up here than there was the last time I was here.
That's a good.
Thanks for letting me fill in for Joe. His breakfast was good. As you said, my name is Troy with U.S. Health Advisors. I provide healthcare solutions for individuals, families, small businesses that are alternatives to your typical marketplace plan. At the end of the day, usually, if everybody can qualify, you have to qualify with your health. You don't have to be spot on healthy. You can be taking, certain prescriptions, whatever. But if you do, at the end of the day, it's going to save you money. It utilizes a larger network, nationwide network. And a lot of things I was actually thinking on the way in that some of you deal with. Obviously, everybody's moving, and it's that time of year again. But with the marketplace plans, a lot of your clients are moving from out of state. In which case they're going to need health coverage. A lot of them are moving from one county to the next. Because there's the way the Obamacare stuff works, if you're in one county, you may not be able to find doctors in another county. So I don't know if it's a conversation that you have or you know anybody that's in that situation. I'd be happy to help them as well. I do have access to all the plans that are available, so it's one of those where I could sit down, find out their situation, and get some information from them and get them into the best healthcare policy for them, whether it's, through Freedom Life, which is the plan that's underwritten, private side of things, or even guide them through the ACA stuff. So once they move in, they're fully ready to go. They can get all that stuff taken off their plate. That's kind of it in a nutshell, really.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Turn your head to the back corner of the room. We have greatness among us. No, not Mickey. Debbie Stewart. So yes, we like Paul, and yes, we like Renee, but the longer you've been in the business, the reason you use Gannett, that's why we use Gannett right there. So she is the best at that seat in the entire city.
Oh, really?
They can come in and do their little here's paper, sign, but the real stuff happens at her desk, right? There we go. Thank you for all you do. All right, so how do you play this situation? Seems like it's come up a lot recently, maybe over Labor Day for some reason, a lot of people vacationing. So it's let's just say it's your listing, it's your seller. Deal's gone well, and for some reason, a day before closing, you're called by the agent with the buyer saying, loan's not ready. And the reason is the mortgage company has completely dropped the ball. There's no doubt. Buyers done good, sellers done good. We're not closing because mortgage company dropped the ball. How do you play that? How are you going to play that with your seller? How are you going to play that with the other agent? How are you going to play it with the mortgage company? Seems like you've had this issue.
I think the first thing you do is kick yourself in the butt because you should have been taking care of that all along, and you should have known what's going on as an agent up to that point. This should not be a surprise to you,
Right answer.
unless they were lying to you.
Which sometimes, right. I mean, sometimes we've heard they're approved, and then we need another approval, or it's already appraised, and then for some strange reason we're doing another appraisal. But you're exactly right. This should be your job to, even if it's your listing, to be calling week out, how we doing, the day of the CD, how we doing. But let's just say they've just dropped the ball. What's our conversation with our own seller, with the other agent, with the mortgage company? Let's start with our own client first. So obviously, we probably received something from the buyer's agent saying we need to extend, okay? Is our client gonna be happy? No, because they probably, everything's been done. They have their insurance stopping that day, they have your utilities stopping that day, they probably are moving. Okay, so what's our conversation? RJ, what's your conversation?
I'm sorry. I had to answer something. I can't answer your question.
Your seller, mortgage company screwed up completely. Your seller, other agent, buyer's agent said we need to extend 3 days. The mortgage company completely dropped the ball.
Because they completely dropped the ball.
Right, but how are you telling your seller that?
Okay, so I tell my seller that they don't, they don't have, well, do they have the right to extend for 7 days?
Usually they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, 8, sorry, 8. But what I'm saying is sometimes it's even past that. Either way, so I try to first determine, is it really gonna close? Like, are we sure that, or are we 99% sure that it really is gonna close, there is not something else going on?
I think you're exactly right. That's an important step. We need to determine, is everything okay?
Is there something, fishy happening?
Is it really the mortgage company screwing up, or is it something else?
Correct.
That's what we're trying to determine first,
Right.
right?
Yes, so then I call the seller.
Okay, so call me, I'm your seller.
Hey, Brad.
Hello, RJ.
We have a little situation. Anyway, no,
I
right.
don't like that.
Anyway, so I would just go right in. This
No,
is
no, no,
what-
just keep talking to me.
Okay, so this is what's happened. XYZ lender has dropped the ball and they are not ready to close. This is what I have found out, blah, blah, blah,
You found out,
underwriting,
right.
ask for something else, whatever.
Right.
And so there is a clause in the contract that allows them to have 8 extra days and they are using it.
I want to terminate.
Well, you can't terminate. But why do you want to terminate? We want to get the house sold. You want to
Okay, but I'm just saying, how many times do people, that's your seller's response, right?
Right.
Right? Or if they're going to do that, they need to give me $2,000 more, right? That's what's going to happen, right? So what do we say to ourselves?
Well, you just listen to them, let them get it out, let
That's
them
right.
vent,
Right?
and then you start talking about the contract and why the contract is written this way.
Right?
And you say something to the effect of, I'm determining, if it is the buyer's fault,
Right?
we can ask for $2,000 because they're basically begging us to wait.
Right.
If it is truly the lender's fault, we can't ask for $2,000 because we're subject to this third party that's screwed up.
Right.
And then I might say, and by the way, if you remember, when we got the offer, I did say I was a little bit worried about XYZ lender, or if I was, like if it's one of the big,
Okay.
somebody's known to be slow.
Okay, so this is a process. I think one.
Right, but
you
first
get-
you let them get it out and ask for it, and
Right.
don't disagree with them
Right.
right away.
Right. So before we've called them, you've already talked to the lender to determine that it really is, they've screwed up. It's nothing else. Okay, there's
And I do try to
nothing.
find why they, like, someone was sick, blah, blah, try to find
Right,
out.
right.
Not that it makes it better, just
And I wouldn't just, I would ask pointed questions.
correct.
So RJ, there's nothing, the buyer, there's nothing wrong. You have everything. Their credit's fine.
Job's fine.
I go all through the whole list. Their credit's fine, job's fine.
Right.
Right, I'm gonna go through the whole thing. So they admit they've screwed up.
Right.
Okay, Rashad?
Do you get that, do you have a verbal conversation in that regards to those bullet points, or do at that point in time, do you go move into it or email? So you
They
have-
will never answer your email.
Some of them.
Well,
Well,
they
no.
won't be honest, and they can't say certain personal things.
No, but Rashad has a valid point.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's good to get
Because I'm
something.
building, because what you're doing at that point in time, you're building the case in the event that they don't close.
God.
So you always email, right?
Paper
Keep that
trail.
earnest money
True.
and so forth and so on.
Well, also, depending on how upset my seller is, I'm gonna go, RJ, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
this isn't good. This has been a perfect deal. You dropped the ball. I would very much like you to email my client right now.
Correct.
He's very upset, and explain
Good,
what
yes.
has
Yes.
happened, okay?
But
So it's not
that's
me.
great.
I'm
Right.
just saying that the personal conversation, they might tell you the little secret thing that they can't put in writing. So you have to do both. I agree, totally agree.
But also you have to embrace immediately the other agent.
Correct. So we're gonna talk
Immediately inspired it.
well, that's the
What's going
second
on
thing.
with
So,
your client?
so what do we do if we've determined that in fact it's not the buyer and it's not the other agent, it's truly the mortgage company?
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people mess up their deal and now begin to hurt the chances of it closing if all of a sudden they go off on the other agent before finding out that it wasn't the other agent or the buyer. Okay, because we're still on the same team at this point.
But you need to find out.
I mean, this happened 2 weeks ago where, I mean, it was just like inconceivable how inept this company was. And every day it was like a no-brainer closing and it has to be signed off here. It's like, it was like a 40-day closing. It's like, what have y'all been doing? But the other agent and the buyer were just as upset. The buyer had a truck full of stuff. So it does no good to go off on the buyer that they're on our team. Okay, they were just as upset if we determine that's all true. Okay, and this got so goofy that actually at some point, it could be 2 or 3 days in, sometimes I need to talk to someone 3 up, okay? Or if you're not getting anything, I'm telling you, one of your funnest days ever, if they're local, show up at their office and ask for the person 3 up. Because a lot of times it's not even getting to them, right? And you'd be surprised how things will work out. But the point I'm trying to make is, one, how do we keep our seller, prove to him that, you know, it's really the mortgage company. 2, let's not alienate the other agent if it's really not them. They probably want to close as bad as we did, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They may want to close, but what they doing is stuff they should have done to make sure that they stay on top of, you know, their client in that process. So, you know, that's a great area there as well. Because
Well, but
there's a
I
lot of
agree with
agents-
Jennifer.
There's a lot of agents out here that we're doing a lot of the help. One of the other side is doing a lot more heavier lifting than the other to get the deal closed.
Yeah.
We sign up for that, what I'm just saying, like.
Right. I mean, there's no doubt, but still, I'm with Jennifer. I'm not relying on the other agent. I'm still going to ask the questions myself if I want to make big money, have things closed. Okay?
As a listing agent, we should be checking in with the closing attorney ahead of time to see if they have a package. You talk to the other side and see if they've signed their CDs, because that's 3 days early. So it's on us too.
That's exactly.
It should be on your listing checklist.
It should be on your listing checklist. Okay. Good chat there. Matthew, anything? You're awfully dressed up today, so let's see what you and Paul have. Certainty home loans.
He thought it was Sharp Dress Man Day.
There we go. Yeah, that was a month ago, but you look good.
Yeah. So you talked about that, but my personal house was scheduled to under contract for 6 weeks. I'm selling, sold since under contract 6 weeks. Good. Closing at 4:00 in the afternoon. My phone rings at 2 p.m. We're not closing today. Mortgage company messed up.
Wow.
This is a while ago, but what was my first? I was like, "Who's a loan officer? What company?" Like, but that worked out. But it does happen.
Oh yeah.
And they did drop the ball. So
More standard than anything.
Yeah.
it's crazy. Anyways, Paul.
Since we're on the subject, my subject today is where I came from and what I had to do behind the scenes for a very big company. 40% of my time was chasing my underwriters, my processors, my closers, my managers. That's all I did all day long. That's why some loan officers at other companies, they don't return your call because they don't have answers. So that's all we did. We would send emails out all day long. Hey, so-and-so, what's going on with the Brown file? It just constantly all day. So I want to bring up Certainty Home Loans today from an outsider that's been here
4 months.
4 months?
4 or 5 months.
I'm the new guy. You don't know me, Paul Bryan. I got to tell you, the process here is incredible. They're bugging me. Paul, what are you doing? What'd you do with the bank statements? Where are you going? Yes, Deborah. Yes, Deborah. I mean, she's on it. She gets it to the processor. The processor's on me. I mean, all my loans so far, By the time I hit submit to Deborah, in 24 hours, at worst 48 hours, it's in front of an underwriter. Where I came from, it was 7, 8, 9, 10 days before the underwriter saw it. And then within 72 hours, or maybe 4 days, I know the issues on that file right away. And it is just smooth as silk. It is so cool. My stress coming from the big place.
How many mortgage companies have you worked for?
And since I got back in the business, 4. One closed down because of operations behind the scenes. I mean, the big bosses came in. It was a big hedge fund and said, "Everybody out." that's how bad it was.
All right, so what are rates now?
Well, if anybody follows my personal Facebook page, I shared an article last week, I think it was on Friday, that last week was the worst week in mortgage rates in 3 years.
What does that mean, worst?
It was the quickest rise in rates that we had since the week that President Trump got elected.
How much did they rise?
0.5%.
A quarter to 3/8.
Okay.
So on the Friday we were quoting 3.5. Right now we're quoting 3.7, 3.8 on a 30-year fix.
Okay.
And that happened in a week, which is in our world very quick.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to Texas Hold'em on Thursday.
Is that the trend, man? Do you think that's going to be a trend?
The Fed is actually meeting tomorrow. I think we're at an artificial low for a little bit. I think we're now kind of at a happy medium. I think we'll stay where they're at right now for the foreseeable future.
So under 4.
I think we'll stay under 4 for the time being. It just depends on what the market does, and
they could go way lower, I think.
You don't win that big hungry.
No, I'm on the other side. I predicted high. I've already lost it. Yeah. Right.
Matt, refinancing, I mean, is a low, what would be
We're
a
doing
target if you currently have a X, if you're currently at such and such a rate?
I would say anything over like 4.25 right now, you should be looking at it. And people, especially people that are looking to stay in their homes for 3 or 4 years, that can recoup the benefits of refining. But August for our company was the largest refinance month that we've ever had.
Wow.
Which it should be.
It was about 50% of our volume was actually refinanced.
Was it term rate or cash out rate?
Rate term. Honestly, everybody that I closed last August and September, I've got refinancing right now. Same clients from last year.
Yeah.
Saved a guy $460 that I did a purchase on June of last year and just closed him last week, saved $460.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a big amount.
All right.
All right.
Have a good week.
Texas Hold'em, let's do it. All right, let's talk a little,
Brad, can I make a little quick 1 second announcement? I just gave my money to Felicia. She said there's like 16 or 17 more spots for the tournament Thursday evening. Great cause. If you haven't signed up to the poker tournament, sign up. Going down Thursday.
But
Make a
just
great
don't
time.
sit at Joe's table.
okay, thank you, Joe. All right, so let's talk, how do you get more buyers off your listings, okay? I don't think a lot of people are getting this. So listings should be how many closings?
3.
3 or 4, right? You sell the listing. Hopefully the seller could be moving in town, so you're finding them another property. Where are the other 2 coming from?
Open houses.
Sign call.
Okay, I mean I've been in business 30 years. I read that 30 years ago, and it's true. You should look at a listing as at least you convert 2 buyers. But that doesn't happen by accident, right? You need to have some skills there. So you've already named 2 of them. Where do we get these buyers? 1, sign calls, right? 2, open houses. 3, where else?
Seller themselves.
We already talked about that. No. What else? Internet leads, someone said. Okay. So let's talk through each of these. Who is good at converting sign calls?
I haven't had many, but they've all.
Okay, so what's your game plan when they call? You have to actually be prepared, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're ready to look, so it's like wherever I was at, it was like, oh, I can, let's meet in like 10 minutes. So usually they're from out of town. So
No, okay, so I'll call you. Hey Rachel, Brad, I just, I was in Litchfield, I saw your listing, that yellow house, how much is it?
$850.
Is that what you're looking for?
How much is it? Is that what
No, you're trying to convert me.
Oh, okay.
You're losing right now.
The best chance that they will become your client.
Well, first I said, I would say, well, it's a beautiful home, but are you looking from out of town, and how long?
I just want to know the price.
What?
I'm calling, I'm on the phone right now.
Well, they've got an app that tells them all the features.
So that's what you're gonna say, you got an app?
Don't call me.
Okay,
They know.
we're talking.
Well,
Rachel, I'm in front of your house, how much is it?
Okay, here's what I need to find out.
Okay,
Are they coming from out of town?
okay, you can do that.
Just-
Ask me if I'm coming from out of
How
town.
does it matter?
Ask me if I'm coming from out of town.
Are you coming from out of town?
All I wanna know is the price. I'm talking to you live. I don't wanna tell you if I'm from out of town.
It happens in the conversation though.
Well, that happens
Because
a
they have
lot.
the app that knows the price.
Not everybody wants to use an app.
Right, I'm just calling from the street. I'm in front of the sign. Okay,
Well,
let's,
hey,
let's,
would you like to see the house?
all right, let's go.
And call Virginia.
Virginia,
Yeah, call them Virginia.
Virginia, hey, I'm in front of your yellow house, how much is it?
$375. Is that the price range you're looking?
Okay. Better. So what are we trying to do here?
Engage conversation.
Get a
And
dialogue.
be direct and not, like go all over the place. Directness is,
I mean, they want the answer, yet we want to ask another question, correct? So, exactly, so, or you could, yeah, so 375, is that the price range you're looking for? Okay? And you could continue, like, this is, they might be in front of the house, they might not. You don't know where they're calling from, right?
Correct.
Could be internet. So, this is in the city of Roswell, is that where you're looking for? Right? This is a 4-3, is that what you're looking for? Okay? And then at some point, what do we have to do?
Are you working with the agent?
Invite
You working with the agent?
What?
Invite
Invite
them. Have them. When would you like to see the house?
Me check it out.
So
do
far.
you
You
necessarily
got
need to
yeses
know if
so
they're
far.
Well, they might.
agent?
Right. Well, you could do that.
I always,
So when would you like to look at it?
yeah.
Okay.
Do an open house conveniently Sunday, or I could make it, or we could make arrangements sometime during this week.
I would say
It can
as
be-
soon as possible.
You're in front of the house
Every
now. I'll be
day,
there in
every
5
hour.
minutes.
Well, no, I'll say for that.
I'll-
Okay, so no, it's a 4-3. No, we need a 5-4. Okay, how are we gonna do this?
Well, there's a couple other ones in the neighborhood that I'm familiar with. Would you like to take a look at those?
Yeah.
So when is the question, are you working with the agent come up? Or is it just like-
Well, then I would ask
Nah.
them
Yeah, do you
somewhere.
necessarily
As soon as they say
say right away?
Well, we're gonna ask that at some point, right?
You just gonna go show a nullifiers agent a property and then like, oh, I got an agent. Oh, well.
Well, I asked
Run
them.
them off.
That happens.
Yeah.
Does anyone convert sign calls in here? Have any luck with it?
Yeah.
You do?
There's
All right,
not that
Rashawn.
many of them anymore.
Hey, I'm calling on your yellow house. Down there in, West End. How much?
Hey, Brett, how are you?
I didn't say my name.
That's your name. What's your name?
I know who's speaking.
All I wanna know is the price.
Oh, well, this home is an amazing home in the historic West End. It's listed right now at $380. We've been on the market for 2 days, so you're actually very early in getting in on this trend here.
Okay.
Is that in your price range?
Okay, so again, we need to practice this. We need to ask the second question that keeps conversation going. And at some point, we need to be able to interject information that we appear intelligent and we know what we're doing. And then at some point say, would you like to see it? Or if it's something different, I know of 2 around the corner, right? This will work every time. They hadn't even thought about that.
Brad, I think people are using the app and not sign calling anymore.
There's no sign call.
So
Very
what,
few.
what are sign calls? Like you just, what are they?
They're standing in front of
See,
the
they
house.
don't even know what it is.
Like you keep saying that.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, so Rachel, Rachel, my bad. So you're saying most people call off the app, correct?
And if they, I mean, if they're just looking in the area.
Voice pay.
So they call the app, they already know the price,
Show
right?
the listing agent on it.
They already know the price, right?
They already know the price.
Right.
They already know the bedrooms.
Okay, so what are they asking you?
The
when
biggest
they
thing I
come?
have to narrow down in the delightful 1-minute conversation we have in the beginning is this the area you're looking at, or are you looking in other areas?
Right.
And just trying to, more or less in a very short period of time, you know, what's a good time for you?
Right.
Is today the only day you're looking, this weekend?
Right.
Let's go ahead and, you know, meet at usually a Starbucks or something so we can have a conversation. I'd be happy to help you narrow down your search.
Okay, so generally on the app, are they asking any question other than I want to see it?
No?
Because they already want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Deb,
For a conversation breaker, before we lead into all that, we usually say something like, well, thank you so much for calling. That is a great house. We have been getting so many calls on that. What attracted you to call on it?
good.
So we've answered the price, and you say, well, I'm really looking for X, and then we can explain how it fits that need and where it goes from there, and then we can find out if it's something you're interested in viewing. Oh, by the way, you know, do you have an agent that you're working with that can help you? And if not, we would be happy to let you in, as well as if they are represented by somebody, I just want their name to call them, to let them know we're taking them in. I don't care if you're working with another agent, we need to sell this house. We're here to sell this listing for our clients, so if your agent is busy and can't get you in, we'll get you in.
Wow.
Got it.
Oh, I don't say it like that. They're ugly.
I think what we're getting at, you're just gonna keep asking questions. You have kids, this is in Mountain Creek, the best elementary school. Is that the school district you're looking for?
I like how she started it off with, a lot of people have been calling. I like that.
Right, right. Okay, super quick, so open houses, how are we converting? You convert. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that it's like going on speed dating. You've got about 5 to 7 minutes that you are trying to figure out a 6th degree of separation, and you're developing trust and loyalty in that small amount of time, and hoping that there's a connection between you and that person. And then follow up.
Okay.
Deliver some sort of value.
Which is what for you?
Could be providing information, could be, hey, yeah, let me send you an email on that information. Try to get, that would make them give me their contact information and all that, and then follow up. And, you know, you don't keep them all, but you just try to keep as many of them as you can.
Okay. So you're trying to establish connection validity as quick as possible, right? And that we're intelligent. I'd start this conversation every time. So I see you're not really paying attention to all the stuff on the news with the recession, and I agree with you. Here's my theory. I mean, you could already have that printed out. Here's my theory. I think Atlanta's going to keep smoking. I mean, who's going to talk to them about that?
Yeah, man, who's talking embargoes?
Yeah. Getting a little embargo talk.
Right, will you better email that over to us?
Right.
What?
Will you better email that article over to us?
Say that again?
Will you be able to email the article?
Yes.
Is that an article? You get that?
Yeah, there's 2 of them that we talked about. Okay, super quick. Internet leads. Whole different ball game. Right?
Quick.
Quick. So you got to respond very quick, right? Okay, so what's your response, basically?
Picking them up on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do you say?
You just reached out for some help here in real estate, and I'm following up and seeing how we can help you.
I think it's that simple. How can I help you? Right. Or you might say something, Kevin, you might say, I've been in business 20 years. How can I help you? Right, I mean, we got to start there. and quick. Super quick.
Does it matter where they saw it at? Like you asking like, hey, where did you see the the listing at? Or does it matter? They're everywhere. Does it matter?
You could ask them that. But what they're calling for is help, right? I mean, I want to be in a position where you want me to help. So I think it's pretty simple. All right. Renee, Paul, who's talking?
Wake up. Which one?
Both of you.
I'm guessing the same topic, taxes, property taxes. Realize that I think most are starting pretty soon, like September 30th.
Yeah.
A lot are due.
Yes, they are. So if you have, I mean, Debbie, how many checks are we holding right now? 1,000. We're holding 1,000. So if you have sellers that are closing anytime over the next couple of weeks, months, a lot of them will have escrow accounts set up for their property taxes and homeowners insurance. A lot of them will have, the lender has already sent the property taxes to the county, but it's not being shown as paid. So if they come to closing and still not shown as paid, we have to collect it. We have to have that money collected, even if it is supposedly on its way from the lender. What we can do is hold on to the check. We physically cut a check and hold on to it. You keep it away, like in a desk drawer next to you. Yeah. And then we'll
3 times about it, then I send it to the county.
Yeah, and then we'll check because we don't want to pay the taxes twice. We don't want to have a check coming back to us. They don't want to have, it's just too much work for the county. Too many opportunities for them to screw it up. So just let your sellers know. It's being collected at closing, but it's likely going to be refunded to them either from their escrow account or by us once we can verify that the taxes have actually been paid. Now, if you have a seller who does not have an escrow account, don't have them pay their taxes. Don't have them send a check in for it because same thing. It is not going to show as posted. We will collect it at closing. Unless they are closing right after the due date of the when the taxes are due, then they're going to have to pay them. But once again, we'll probably be, if it's not shown as being paid, we're going to collect it at closing, hold on to it until we can verify. And the reason is, especially the lenders, when they batch send things in, the counties will misapply the checks to other properties. Sometimes the checks get lost. So we, per the title insurance companies, we have to have money collected for that to ensure that it gets paid. Want to leave anything out?
They're not going to post until 10/16. Cobb County, Fulton, Decatur, they're not going to post until 10/16. So let them know that. They wire all the money in and then they apply it and they're not going to post. And trying to tell people that is just impossible.
Yeah. I mean, no one wants to pay the taxes twice. I mean, no one wants to wait for that check to come back. So we do as best as we can with it and just let them know ahead of time that that's what's going to be happening with the property taxes. Any questions? Yes.
What if you have a situation where closing on a property back in May, property closed at around $600,000. This county assessment, they had already assessed the property, but then they did another reassessment and they assessed the property so for $700,000. And now the attorney's saying, oh well, there's a $1,700 difference between what we paid in taxes versus what the county has assessed it. They pretty much got it wrong because the house sold at $600. They have an appraisal for that.
Well,
You have to go back and
it's not so much that it's wrong. It's that, when you close prior to the actual tax bill being out, we have to prorate the taxes between the buyer and the seller based on last year's taxes or an estimate. So what happens is and we just wrote one of these letters last week for somebody that closed. You go back, you can call us, we can reprorate it for you, show what the difference is, show what the seller owes to the buyer. We can send a letter to the seller, and then really it's really up to the buyer and the seller to make it right between themselves. They sign something at closing stating that if anything needs to be reprorated, that they will do it amongst themselves. We will write letters for buyers to send to the seller, but we are not bill collectors, so it's really up to the buyers to follow up with them to get any of that money.
Especially if you've got a senior citizen listing. I had this happen. they get the,
All the discount,
all
the school
discounts for
exemptions.
not paying school
Exemptions.
taxes or whatever.
Understood.
And then all of a sudden, the house is bought, and the next year, it goes sky high. They have to get back, have some dialogue.
Right.
Renee, what about if the closing takes place between, you can pay half the taxes like September 30th and then the other half October 15th. Can they pay that half a tax?
No,
or
if
they
it's,
pay
if
the
the
full
bill,
amount?
if the bill's out, we'll just pay it in full at closing.
Yeah.
And not do it in installments. Any
Plus the
other questions?
prorations are counted out based on the days that you owned it.
Yes, yeah, because we prorate for the whole year, basically. Any other questions? It's a fun time to close during property tax bill season. And real quickly, so John had a really interesting issue that he sent me last week.
Yeah.
You know, I always say do not rely on the tax assessor's website for legal descriptions of the property, for, acreage valuations. They get things wrong all the time. So it's your listing,
It's
right?
gonna be, it's an upcoming listing, correct?
Upcoming listing. So they went on the tax website and
It has a different owner.
it has a completely different owner. So what happened is another piece of property in that subdivision with the same lot number. It was different blocks, I think.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like-
yours was in block B, the other one was in block E. The assessor sees this quitclaim deed come in for lot 43 and changes it in the system, changes the person's name. These people are not title examiners. They don't check to see if there's any sort of break in the chain of title. You would have thought they would have looked at it and seen that no names on this deed match the current owner of the property, but they changed it over. So don't rely on the tax assessor's websites. If you are looking at a property and something seems really off, give us a call. We'll look into it. Because
Well, it was, and in the back, since it was in Cobb County, it's a lot easier for us to go pull the security deed and all that. So I was able
Right.
to go back and pull that actual information and the correct information and send it to
Yeah.
her. I said, it looks like it's okay to go forward with this. And she said, yeah, you're fine with that, but they do need to call and make sure that the taxes.
the names get
apply
corrected.
properly. So-
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep. All kinds of crazy things happen in those tax offices.
that was the same one that we had to redo the survey.
Yeah.
The exact same property.
Yeah.
That was.
Cursed property. Just kidding.
So it's an awkward time now. It's just tough. Sometimes you're gonna have to explain. You might have to pay, and you've already paid, and that,
Yep.
and we just need to make
Sellers don't
people
love
aware
that,
of that. Yeah.
But there's nothing else that we can do about it. All right, thank you. I hope to see you all on Thursday. I'm gonna get back to that final table this year. Gonna do it.
She's a former winner. She's won it. Okay, so Stacy, what do we have? Training calendar? Chad's here after this?
Yes, he is. Now, who did not get my text this morning? Did anybody not?
Text. I did.
Yes. So I sent everybody my little love text of all the classes because we have a ton this week, plus a big party with the Texas Hold'em. Chad will be here, and y'all, I gotta tell you, this is our last live training with Chad before he moves to the Pacific Northwest. So it'll be a big 8 Ways a Millionaire Thinks. It is about mindset and planning. Business planning, so you don't want to miss it. It's our last Chad class, and then we will continue to talk about compliance and command on Wednesday. We have our, I think, hilarious Kevin Theobald from FMLS teaching class that covers all the tools that FMLS has to offer to impress your buyers and sellers, and that's a free 3-hour study class on Thursday. Of course, Texas Hold'em in the afternoon. And on Friday, we're going to put our big toe in the water and start teaching DocuSign. All we can do at this point is create our accounts through Command, but we can start getting ourselves educated about it. Our forms aren't there yet, and probably won't be until November. But we're baby steps, and you're welcome to come join us. Thanks.
Okay.
Something to add, next Tuesday, right after sales meeting, We are doing a renovation class right here, 11:30 to 12:45. We'll have it's a lunch and learn, but we'll cover all 5 of the renovation products that we have. FHA, conventional, VA. We'll go into the specifics on the process, how it works, how it can benefit your clients and your listings. So hope to see you there next Tuesday, right here, 11:30.
Okay, so Chad's what time, 11:30?
Yes,
Okay,
11:30 to 1:30.
all right, Listings Caravans, what do you got?
Hi. Got a caravan today, right after, well, actually, same time Chad. You're not gonna see Chad, please come out, have a caravan. It's over right on the verge of Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, off Roberts Road. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home listed at $265. Great home for either starters or for people sizing down. It's a nice home community, about 34 homes. See you there. If you don't see Chad.
All right, thank you, Jake. Eddie?
My listing in Woodstock, 831 Pinehurst. It's a ranch with a basement, over an acre. We just lowered it to $349.9. Very secluded, 2-car detached garage, radiant floors throughout, hardwoods.
Wow.
Updated. So if you know somebody that's looking in Woodstock, it's a great home.
Okay, nice. Kathy?
We have a new listing in North Buckhead, South Sandy Springs, but it's a traditional 3 levels finished, all hardwood floors. The lower level could be an in-law or nanny suite. It could be true multi-generational living. It's got an exterior entrance. It's on 0.8 acres, and it is butts up to 2 huge private estates. So the backyard feels like you're in the North Georgian mountains when you're very close in. And there are other $1 million streets on the home. So we're at 824.9.
Nice. Yeah.
We have a new listing in the Mountain Creek subdivision. It is a Roswell city address with Cobb County taxes. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, renovated kitchen, family room. Absolutely gorgeous. Every little thing's been done. Newer HVAC system, furnace, technology upgrades all through the house with all the Nest, cameras. It's really beautiful with a huge fire pit in the backyard. So if we're going to hold it open Sunday, 1 to 3. If you guys have buyers and you're out doing something else, please send them over. We'll take care of them for you, and we'd love to show it to them.
Love the fire pit. Hey.
We have a fire pit too.
And the cameras.
Seriously.
Talk about your
Hey, it's an underrated feature. I mean, there's a lot of guys that, man, they're not liking fire pit. They're getting out the checkbook, right? I mean, it's just a guy thing. I don't know why. Hey.
I've got a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 2-story fixer-upper in Breckenridge between Briarcliff and La Vista. It's listed at $545. Let me know. I mean, obviously, we're selling it as is, but it's in great shape. New mechanicals, everything checks out on it. No leaks on the roof and all that kind of stuff. Also got 3603 Kingsborough. I've had it on the market for a while. Looking to possibly drop the price, but we're right now at $689. We're going to do an open house this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 4.
Good. Jen?
We got a townhouse in Duluth, 3-story, 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, and it's very low homeowners association. It's only $215 a month. It's great shape as we have just lowered the price to $265.
Nice. Christine?
Got a ranch coming on the market today. It's in Loganville, 5 bedrooms, 3 full baths, new HVAC, new flooring, new roof, over a half-acre lot, excellent condition, $245.
Nice. Johnny?
The one I was talking about, that Renee was talking about, it's in Cheatham Hill, I believe elementary, is that right, Cheatham Hill? In Marietta, it'll be a 5, 3.5 on a cul-de-sac. It's had the floors redone, hardwood floors redone on the main level, and also they replaced it. So probably going to market somewhere probably right around the first part of the weekend or early next week. And it'll be between $325 and $335. We haven't set the final price.
Bob here's got a caravan on Ball Mill over by DCC. You come anywhere, it says come anytime between 11 and 4. He'll be there from 1 to 3. Gift cards provided.
Wow, it's a long caravan. Okay.
October 1st, we're going to be putting a condo on the market in the Arbors of Dunwoody Springs, which is right around the corner. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,700 square foot. It'll be about $235. Great place, huge deck off the back, wooded lot. New granite's going in, some new floorings going in, and a lot of freshening up, some new lighting. So it's a great price in Sandy Springs.
Jennifer.
I have, and this is great for investors, it's an unofficial triplex in Morningside. It's right around the corner from Piedmont Park on Courtney. So the primary level is 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. It has a living room, a dining room. The kitchen has been somewhat updated and a nice deck off the side. And then a huge backyard. It's on a big lot. And then a loft area upstairs. And then downstairs, the owner has built 2 studio apartments on the property. So
When you say unofficial, what does that mean?
it's not official.
It's not zoned.
Ask no questions, tell no lies.
And then I'm sorry, $699 is the price. We are possibly dropping the price on that.
Yeah, too high.
And then I also have a 2.2 in the Peachtree Residences that's still on the market, $274. It's the lowest price point in that building. You can't get into that building for less, especially with a 2-bedroom. It's a nice floor plan.
Okay, thank you.
I forgot, I did do a price adjustment on Haversham Estate, unit 613, it's now 164. It was born a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's renovated into a loft style unit, so it's open.
Pretty good for Buckhead. Who else? Okay, Chad, right after this, again, it's a little hard psychologically because it's kind of Indian summer here. It feels like summer, but we are really good way past Labor Day, so it's good. It really feels good. Make this a part of your talk, okay? Think about this. People will be impressed if you can kind of go through this. All right, y'all have a good one.